painting. If you can do visual research, collect images and recall details based on your references, if you can draw structure, believable, 3D solid structure, if you can work creatively with color, then that's all you really need to be a digital artist or a background artist. All of the rest, the style, the textures, the concepts, these are all things that are, techniques that you can add on and build upon. But these three aspects form the underlying absolute key, most important foundational skills that you need to develop in order to be a background artist. Now, throughout the rest of the course, we're going to explore and develop your drawing, your painting, and I'm going to coach you along the way in how to practice these two skills. But in this lesson, I want to talk about visual research. Firstly, a word on visual research versus drawing from imagination. The great artist Kim Jung-gi, who sadly passed away recently, but in one of the last interviews that he gave, he was asked what are the main, pieces of advice that he has for beginner artists. And his very first point was that it's so important to collect visual reference and to add that to your experience of real-world objects, places, and people. So if you see someone drawing from their imagination, you must know that their skill at being able to recall what they've researched or what they've experienced is what you're seeing. It's not imagination. It's not just pulled out of absolutely nowhere. It's all about their ability to recall an experience. Visual research is really the first and foremost skill that you need to develop. And here are some tips for how to do visual research. The first one is obviously to start from where you are and literally take in your surroundings. Try to be visually aware and interested in the objects and places that you're seeing on a daily basis. So just looking at things is a powerful way to increase your skill level very, very fast. Remind yourself to notice the light around you at different times of the day. Notice or look at the structure of things and how they sort of occupy space. And if you can, start to draw these things from life. Start a sketchbook practice if you haven't got one already, and try to draw from life as much as you can. It's not always possible, but if you can manage to draw from life, it's going to be one of the fastest ways that you will improve your drawing overall. If you're good at capturing images, then you can start to make a habit of taking photos of things that you see and collect them in a dedicated folder. When it comes to drawing and painting specific backgrounds or specific art pieces, then obviously the next step is to do research online for the object or the place that you're drawing. For example, for this project, I sort of went ahead and typed in Viking Village into Google, and based on all of the images that Google spat out, I started to make a mood board, which is literally just a collection of images that I liked, images that kind of resonated with what I had in mind about what I wanted to do, and also images that I just found interesting to look at myself. So a mood board doesn't have to be specific or doesn't have to be overly specific. It can be just a collection of images that you like, the colors that you see. Pinterest is great for collecting images. So my recommendation is make a mood board like this, then study it for a while, just by looking and noticing the things that stand out or the things that you might not even have noticed in an image at first. Then when you're ready to start drawing, put this mood board away and try to draw based on what you remember and let your recall, take over, and try to draw something new based on how you remember it. So that's the way I approach visual research for any project at all. I try to not look too much at other concept artists' finished artwork, although I do have to mention a website like ArtStation is an amazing resource for artists, and you can get so much inspiration from looking at, other artists' work. But try to resist finding artwork that you think is so awesome that you want to just, kind of replicate or duplicate. try to just allow yourself to be inspired by what you see there. Do your research on the actual physical objects and things that you're trying to draw, and then put all of that research away and try to start drawing from your memory. So in the next section, we're going to move into drawing. I'm going to talk a little bit about fundamental skills that background artists need to know about for drawing. And I'm specifically going to mention some of the really major pitfalls that I see a lot of beginner artists falling into when it comes to drawing. So when you're ready, meet me in the next lesson.